Hey everybody, Jason Cooley here with Texas Storm Chasers and the Texas Weather Center. It is currently 8:44 p.m. on May 21st, 2024. We're going to take a look. I was going to do a forecast video for the YouTube channel. However, we also have a pretty substantial severe thunderstorm now just on the south side of Brownwood, Texas. So I figured we could parlay this into a nowcast with this thunderstorm in Brown County, and also take a look at what's to come later on tonight and through tomorrow. Tomorrow looks like a pretty substantial day for the state of Texas as far as pretty widespread severe weather goes. Not looking at like devastating outbreak or anything like that. Nothing like Iowa today, and our prayers and thoughts are with Iowa. At least one fatality so far today. I haven't confirmed that, but Iowa's had a very bad day, and we'll have video of at least two of those tornadoes from Stephen Jones. But we're gonna, of course, switch gears and look at Texas. What is happening right now? We have a severe thunderstorm capable of large damaging hail just southeast of Brownwood, Texas. Luckily, the storm did take a bit of a more southeasterly track to just slightly graze Brownwood to the south, but that storm went over Bangs and Santa Ana with 2 to 3 inch hail over the last hour. So south side of Brownwood, Texas, you're still seeing some hail falling down. There's some modest rotation with this thunderstorm, but we are not super concerned about tornado potential with this. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the current environment of things, the state of things with the environment right now. But main hazard is going to be large damaging hail, 2 to 3 inch in diameter. But we could have some spotty damaging wind gust with this thunderstorm. We're not seeing anything crazy with the velocity signatures right now, though. So again, modest rotation is probably going to be more of the mid-level rotation with this Supercell updraft. Looking at this hook echo, this is pretty substantial little supercell here that's developed against a pretty strong cap. Strong capping inversion was in place, and we've had some elevated thunderstorms earlier today, but this is a full-fledged supercell now that has overcome any capping inversion, and it is throwing down baseballs practically near Brownwood. So luckily it missed a direct hit to Brownwood, but it's going pretty near on the south side there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the way this storm is tracking. And I was just going to do a forecast video, but now we have this severe supercell that's moving southeast, just south of Brownwood. Might make a run toward, the hail core might make a run into Zephyr and eventually Mullen, Texas. I don't think it's going to get down to Goldthwaite, but it would have to take a pretty hard right turn to make it down to Goldthwaite. So, again, this is our one big game in the state of Texas. Again, we have tornado warnings in Wisconsin, Arkansas. That's it. We had an outbreak of damaging to violent tornadoes in Iowa earlier today. Pretty bad destruction, Greenfield, Iowa, other towns, Carbon, Corning, Iowa. So nothing like that down here in the state of Texas, and I can't even say we're going to be seeing that in Texas anytime soon. That was just a pretty hostile environment up there today in the moderate risk for tornado zone. Today we just have, believe it's a slight risk of severe weather. So seeing that there, severe weather risk. I'll blow that up just a little bit. That is the current day 1 severe weather outlook. That is a slight risk for Texas, and it makes sense. We have very low coverage of storms in the state. We had some very small elevated hailers earlier today, northeast Texas. Now we're looking at a full-fledged supercell, probably surface-based down near Brownwood. So that's the only game in the state of Texas. Ding, ding, ding. If we zoom out, we're going to see nothing even close until you get out into eastern Oklahoma. So eastern Oklahoma, you've got kind of a multicellular line of stuff, not even severe anymore. In Arkansas, we're looking at maybe a little more significant of a tornado event. I'm not sure if any of these are confirmed north of Little Rock, but yeah, that is not even the slightest of Texas concerns. Looking at this radar, I do want to point out we had some intermittent hail spikes, and I'm going to stop it where we see that. There we go. Some folks that have watched weather coverage for quite a while will see these hail spikes emanating away from the radar, downwind of the radar sampling the thunderstorm, but you get these spikes that continue onward beyond the storm. As far as the radar beam is concerned, it is hitting multiple targets on the way to be received back by that radar dish. Call that a 3-body scatter spike. All the tumbling hail can deflect the radar beams toward the ground, back up to other hailstones before it reaches the dish. So we get a little bit of an anomalous reflectivity spike right there, called a hail spike, or TBSS, and that just indicates large tumbling hail. So no doubt there's been hail 2 to 3 inches from Santa Ana down to southern Brownwood, and this storm is still continuing right along. Probably going to see some hail really near Zephyr and eventually to Mullen, Texas. But luckily for Brownwood, close call, but it missed just to the south. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what we can expect later on this evening. As far as the current environment goes, so we have some capping inversion taking over. This is the SBC mesoanalysis page, and this kind of shows you the now environment. We're looking at instability. Instability is what energizes thunderstorms, keeps supercells going, and we see a lot of this blue shaded region indicates a capping inversion. The cap is that warm layer of air well above the surface that can stop upward motion of air parcels. And when you stop that, you've effectively cut off or prevent thunderstorms. So we don't expect the supercell to go all that long. We have a lot of CAPE, 5,000 joules per kilogram of surface-based CAPE, but we do have also a cap, some inhibition in place here. So chances are the storm's not going to last past 10:30. I mean, it could. I'm not saying it's going to die. Can't guarantee that, because these storms can do whatever they want to do. But don't foresee this storm going on parading toward Waco or Belton, Temple, that area. But you know, if it does, we'll make a post about it. Don't you worry about that. And we'll look at wind shear. Wind shear is what keeps supercells together, and of course we have no shortage of wind shear, 60 knots in the bulk surface to 6 kilometer region. So plenty of wind shear. Of course, our low levels. Go ahead and take a look at our low levels, and we have mid 80s for temperatures and low to mid 70s for the dew points. So the bases aren't going to be terribly high with this, but we're just not expecting these storms to become tornado producers with the amount of capping in place. This storm may have been near surface based, but with the cap that looks to be filling in nearby, it's just don't see the chance for this wrapping up into a tornado. This is the helicity near the surface. Very, very modest helicity values. This is not going to scream tornadoes at any chance. Now, you go north, Missouri, Arkansas, you have 5 to 6 times the amount of helicity up there in the low levels. So that's why they've been having tornado warnings, confirmed tornadoes, especially all the way up in Iowa and now Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri. So yeah, this storm should not be lasting all that long. It's not in the super favorable environment. It's not in a very hostile environment to kill thunderstorms. It's right on that threshold now. It's like it could sustain for a little longer, but as the sun has gone down, we're losing kind of that thermal energy from the surface, So the cap should get stronger as we go on. That is good news. Let's go ahead and take a look at the high resolution rapid refresh model. And that's going to show us kind of what's going to happen through the day tomorrow. Now, don't take this verbatim. This is just one run of the one model out of many models, out of many runs. You see thunderstorms probably in Texoma as we wake up early in the morning. So several severe storms possible near the Red River, Texoma region in the morning hours near lunch. And then we'll see another explosion of thunderstorms across hill country to big country by noon, and that'll parade into DFW, North Texas, North Central Texas, and then even more thunderstorms. So we might have 2 or 3 waves of storms basically. Not going to see wave after wave in any one location, but we're going to see these rounds of storms popping up. Texoma early, around dawn, maybe a couple hours after dawn. And then big country, hill country around lunchtime. And then later in the afternoon, mid to late afternoon, even near dinner time, really, Edwards Plateau to the hill country. So again, don't take this to the bank, but this is kind of what the latest high resolution convective allowing model is showing. So we have a lot of severe weather to contend with tomorrow. There is a enhanced risk of severe weather. As far as upgrading it to a moderate, I can't take that off the table. There might be enough confidence. Again, might not be a super outbreak or anything like that. It might not be $1 billion disaster, but as far as confidence in the severe weather happening in Texas, they could upgrade it to a moderate risk in the state of Texas just due to that confidence that there are going to be hailers, there are going to be damaging wind gusts, maybe a few tornadoes. Again, so the level 3 as it stands now includes Dallas, Fort Worth, just barely to Wichita Falls, across Texoma, the Red River region to Gainesville, Denison, Sherman, Texarkana, Corsicana, Canton, Sulphur Springs, Mount Pleasant, Mount Vernon, Cleburne, Granbury, Stephenville. Level 2, again, you can't take this verbatim either because Mother Nature doesn't care about these lines right here. Storms can happen, bad storms can happen in the level 1 as much as they happen in the level 3. The level 3 is a higher confidence that it's going to happen, but you could still get something super duper crazy in a level 1. So if it's a level 2, if it's a level 3, a level 1, if it gets upgraded to a 4, like, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. Just be weather aware, have a shelter nearby to get away from wind-driven hail or a tornado. The level 2 risk, after I digressed, Abilene, San Angelo, Junction, Killeen, Belton, Temple, Waco, Tyler, Richland, Marshall, Longview. So that is a level 2 out of 5. That means there's a 1 in 20 chance of so the 15%, so that's like a 1 in 8 chance that a severe thunderstorm will be located within 25 miles of any point in that level 2. The level 3 is about a 1 in 3 chance of a severe thunderstorm within 25 miles of any point in that risk. And then encased by a level 1 risk, Del Rio up to Childress. Okay, so kind of surrounding areas might have an isolated severe hailstorm, maybe an isolated tornado. But our main area of focus, of course, North Texas, Texoma, Northeast Texas, and the Arklatex. DFW Metroplex, smack dab in the middle of that as far as Texas is concerned in that higher risk area. So could be another one of those panic the metro with hail days. Don't think we're going to see a tornado outbreak by any means, but a few cannot be ruled out certainly. So, that is pretty much all I have for you guys. Now we're going to go ahead and just go back to radar and see what's going on with that. And I'll chat with you guys for a little bit. Zephyr, south of Zephyr, Texas, going to be seeing some hail. Now this storm does kind of give some indication it's weakening. So that's good. But the hail core is probably located just south of Zephyr at this very moment, and it might seep down to Mullen. Don't expect it to make it down to Goldthwaite, so that's good news. Alright, so, questions. We got 330 on Facebook, dozen on YouTube. Let's see. What time is it going to start in DFW? Oh, so here we go. This is that latest high-resolution rapid refresh model. Now, this may change. We'll keep you updated, but 2 to 3 o'clock is when the wave that comes out of the Abilene area kind of comes into the DFW metro area. So if the storms in the morning near the Red River don't make it in the metro, then we'll probably look at a mid-afternoon wave of hail, wind, and maybe a tornado or two near the DFW metroplex tomorrow. Yeah, the main concern is hail right now. Our risk is basically low tornado risk. That is somewhat good. That's certainly much better than a medium or high risk. Baseball-sized hail. Again, that's going to be the main risk. Now, hurricane force winds are on the table. So if you get the combination of the two, baseball-sized hail and hurricane force winds, that's going to be very, very miserable. So hopefully that doesn't happen simultaneously. But if it does, don't be terribly surprised. So I have our free weather app ready to go, ready to watch all the radar, new forecast videos, and any storm chasing videos. I want to thank you, Brian Knox. Welcome in to the membership portal. So I can turn this back onto the radar and continue to answer questions for a bit. We're just going to watch this current storm between Brownwood and Goldthwaite. I do suspect it is weakening now. It doesn't have that really wrapping hook appearance like it did south of Brownwood, so that's good. It might be coming to a bit of a weakening phase now that sun went down. We're seeing the cap kind of fill in with a little more stability. So stability is good if you don't like storms. Sherman, you're going to be looking at some thunderstorms in the morning. Probably just some hailers. Tornado risk would be very low. Damaging wind risk would probably be very low as well with that morning activity. Want to thank you, Brian Knox, for the upgraded membership. Cool deal. Thank you. Ryan Tucker, hey there. Let's see. Hopefully it's just rain and hail. Yeah. Saxy. Yeah, let's hope. We don't want tornadoes in the Metroplex. Austin, Texas. Now, Austin, Texas is also in that hail risk. Okay, so by the time these storms come out of the big country, hill country, and start turning southeast, they may go north of Austin, but we also have another round of storms late in the afternoon. So we might be on the fringe there in Austin for the late afternoon storms or the late evening storms. So yeah, that's going to be a toss-up right now in Austin. It's kind of fuzzy. You're in the level 1 risk right now. Level 1, not too bad, but I can't say you're clear either. So we'll give you a modified forecast from David Reimer, Baldy in Chief in the morning, of course, as well as Any mid-afternoon updates? We might have 2 updates in the afternoon tomorrow. Just how many rounds of storms we're probably looking at in Texas and the widespread effect of everything. So, again, here's our latest high-resolution rapid refresh in case you missed it. Austin, still on that Austin inquiry. Looks like you're going to be just missed by storms to the north with both rounds. So that would be good. That would be very good. Austin's had enough stuff to deal with. So again, that'll change. Watch the roundup in the morning. So this storm here approaching Mullen, it's starting to look a little more flat here with this interface of the rear flank downdraft and the front flank downdraft. It's looking more elevated in nature here. So certainly we're not seeing that, even that rotation that we were seeing a few scans ago. Some modest inflow coming in, but we're not seeing that wraparound hook rear flank downdraft any longer. Very flat reflectivity. What would I call that there? It's like the transition between the clear and the reflectivity line. It's very flat. Not seeing that nice curvature from robust supercells. So this storm's probably not going to last more than the next hour and a half. It might try to make a run toward Evant, but I wouldn't get my hopes up on that. I'll give it a few more scans. So again, this was meant to just be an afternoon, evening forecast. Now it's turned into kind of a now time look at that one storm in Texas, and then a quick look at tomorrow's forecast. Houston, you're looking free and clear of all this activity tomorrow unless something crazy happens. Are these fast storms moving into DFW? Yeah, they'll probably be 40, 50 miles per hour at the most. That's fairly good clip. There's going to be some good flow coming in to the DFW Metroplex. So the flow blows those storms right on through. Yeah, I wish I could give you a different forecast, Jennifer, for DFW. I wish. San Antonio, I think you're going to certainly be missed by these storms. All the activity should stay to your north. Should. San Antonio, you're on the cusp of the level 1 risk there. So the lowest possible chance without it being pretty much 0 there. So you'll probably be missed to the north tomorrow, San Antonio. Baseball, hail in Bangs, Texas. Thank you, Janelyn, for that update. We currently have tornado warnings in Arkansas and Wisconsin. Nothing tornadic expected in Texas tonight. There may be a few tornado warnings tomorrow in the state of Texas. There's going to be multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. Guarantee that. So we might have live weather coverage at some point tomorrow. So keep an eye out on our Facebook, YouTube channels, both Texas Weather Center and Texas Storm Chasers. We even have X. We have Twitch. We'll probably even put it on the TikTok as long as that is still a platform available in the United States. So multiple ways to receive our live coverage if there are tornado warnings or pretty extreme severe thunderstorm situations. Today's storm was almost a serious situation, but the storm turned more southeast away from Brownwood, so good news for Brownwood today. But as Janelyn said, baseball-sized hail and bangs, which kind of initiated the idea to go live now with the nowcast and forecast for later. What's up, Ryan Tucker? You're welcome. Kind of, I'm about 5 minutes behind on the comments. Okay, I'll get rid of that so we could continue to look at the radar. Is a storm and Zephyr headed towards Gatesville? Yeah, the storm, it's still going on. The way it's going southeast, I don't think it'll go toward Gatesville. I know I'm about 5 minutes behind with the questioning, trying to hit everybody. Might even go south of Evant, but I don't think it's gonna go toward Gatesville. So that's good. So that being said, what I'll do what David usually does, and I can kind of just leave this playing for a little bit, take an intermission, and come back to you with some information here in about, say, 10 minutes on the latest. So I'm not just sitting on screen watching this one storm for forever and ever and ever, but the way it's looking, we don't have a very favorable environment for this storm to survive too far beyond dark. Be surprised if 10:30 to 11 it was still hanging on, but it seems to be diving about due southeast. Might make a run to Evant, but it might, the main hail core could just be on the south side of Evant. Don't expect it to reach Gatesville. Glad we could be of service. Hey, one storm, we're still talking about it. So, is Waxahachie included in this? Yeah, for tomorrow, severe weather, you are included in the level 3 out of 5 risk. Temple, you're in the level 2 risk, I do believe. You're fine. You can do a little crying, it's no big deal. Temple, you're in the level 2 risk. Temple, unfortunately, got pretty ravaged by wind-driven hail a week ago, so that was unfortunate. Definitely liable for more activity, though, tomorrow. So keep an eye on the sky. Watch our free weather app. Gives you the radar. 2 different types of radar there, if you didn't know that. If you don't like radar number 1, go check out radar number 2 under the and more. And there's a whole second version of the radar. Some people are a radar 1 or a radar A, and some people are a radar B or radar 2. And maybe you don't like them at all, and that's certainly your prerogative. Can't appease everybody, but if you don't have that free weather app, Texas Storm Chasers, I would definitely suggest you grab that. It's free. It's great. Gives you all the weather information you need for wherever you live. So we're going to take a 10-minute break, leave this on a holding screen, and I will give you an update on what this is looking to do here in about 10 minutes. Call it 9:23. Alright guys, I'm back. Meteorologist Jason Cooley. There might be a bit of a latency with my camera. I'm not sure if that's coming in to you guys, but it seems like there's some latency between my microphone and my webcam, so I apologize about that. But we're going to take a look at this storm now. We have an ongoing severe thunderstorm. And this has really gotten weird. There we go. Come on. There we go. I have to readjust all this for some reason. Okay. Readjusting things. Okay, so Mullen, Texas. Let's go ahead and stop the playback here on Mullen. I'm having a goofy time with this. So, looks like Mullen, Texas is about to take some hail right now. That is southeast of Zephyr. Zephyr, you're in the clear. This storm may try to go just north side of Goldthwaite. Let's go ahead and switch products here. We're going to take a look at this interesting little thing called vertically integrated liquid. This kind of just shows you the mass density of the core, and it's pretty much right over Mullen now. So we can't rule out 2 to 3 inch hailstones there in the town of Mullen now. So this storm's still chugging right along. Like the hail core kind of beefed up again from what it was about 10-15 minutes ago. So the storm kind of slowed down, but then the hail core really started to intensify again. We're very near Mullen, north side of Mullen maybe, but yeah, that's probably going to be 2 to 3 inch hailstones there, near and north of Mullen, Texas. So very near Goldthwaite at this point. It might make a run to Goldthwaite, maybe just on the north side of town. So yeah. That is the one problem we have in the state of Texas right now. We had some elevated showers and thunderstorms earlier. That was pretty much all about donezo. Maybe a couple little tiny baby showers east Texas. So we had one severe thunderstorm warning earlier in northeast Texas, and that's long gone. And now we have the one lone supercell here near Mullen, Texas. This is kind of in between 4 different radar sites, so kind of take your pick which radar you use. DFW's or Fort Worth's airport or their radar, or you go to Dyess Air Force Base's radar in Abilene, or you go over to San Angelo's radar, or you could go to the one in Granger, Texas. So we're going to look at it from the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas radar. We see a hail spike. I just was talking about that earlier. A hail spike goes away from the storm, away from the radar site. It propagates down from the storm, away from the storm like that. So the radar beam is sampling from Fort Worth. It's shooting out its radar pulses to the southwest here, sampling the storm, and it's sampling possibly damaging hail tumbling down to the ground. Once this radar beam hits this big hail core, it gets deflected between the hailstones and the ground, back to the hailstones, So that radar beam kind of resides in this area for a little bit extra time before it gets sent back. That's why we call it reflectivity, because we're looking for the radar beam being reflected back from weather, from storms, showers, storms, all that stuff. So reflectivity is the reflection of that radar beam back to the radar dish. This hail core is scrambling the beam, so the beam is kind of staying in that core longer than normal, and that's why we get this weird little spike away from the storm, away from the radar, because the radar dish is waiting for the beam to come back, but because the beam is getting mixed up in that hail core, it takes longer for the beam to reach the radar on the return. So the radar site's like, oh, the storm must be farther away, right? Because it takes longer for it to come back. So that's why we got that hail spike there. It's the radar being tricked, thinking the storm is farther away because of the hail core. So since we have one storm and no tornadoes, and we already went over the forecast, I figured we could get a little nerdy and talk about meteorology. And I know there's a latency right now between my microphone and my webcam for some odd reason. Always fun, always fun. But that's what it is. That's just what it is. Severe hail core over Mullen, Texas right now. This storm is still moving southeast. It'll probably go just north of Goldthwaite. It's going to be very close. It might just nick town there. So we'll have to watch this as it progresses. It's still fairly healthy hailer. Not concerned about tornado risk. We'll go ahead and go back to velocity. And let's go checking. We have triple Doppler situation here. So yeah, well, I don't want to see that, but according to the Dias Air Force Space Radar, there's a modest rotation again. But I don't completely trust this data. There's probably some attenuation happening here. Let's look at storm relative. Yeah, it could be modest rotation there, but it's going to be a loft. Probably nothing down at the surface near the base of the storm to talk about. Check. We have storm spotters on that storm, but we don't have any we don't have any reports. So we have hail reports out the wazoo, Santa Ana, Bangs, Southern Brownwood, but haven't been any updates. So that must not be too bad. Now the hail core looks to have kind of gone down there on that Mullen storm, so that could be good news. That could be good news. We might not have as bad hail now, so that is good deal. So yeah, it's 9:30 now. We have this one storm in the state of Texas. We only have one tornado warning in Wisconsin, but that has been expired, so that's good for them. It's just this one storm in the state of Texas. Now tomorrow we'll see multiple storms in the state of Texas, so be weather aware. Tomorrow, Wednesday, May 22nd. So I'll leave this on a holding screen again like I did earlier, and I'll be back at 9:45, and we'll see how close this is to Goldthwaite. All right, hey guys, it's 9:45 p.m. May 21st, 2024. We still have one severe thunderstorm in the state of Texas. We only have one storm in the state of Texas, and here it is north of Goldthwaite. Good news for folks in Goldthwaite, it's going to probably pass to the east. It's hasn't turned harder south toward town, so it's still kind of on that southeasterly trek. It's come through north of Mullen, kind of passed really close, maybe just south of Zephyr, passed south of Brownwood. So at the current track, by the way, I don't see any tornado potential with this, just a hail potential. So current track of the storm, it popped up, started developing out here, and it went through Santa Ana, and then it turned kind of south away from Brownwood, went south of Zephyr, might have hit really close to Mullen, just north of Mullen. So if it keeps on that track, probably is going to make a run at Evant. So folks in Evant, Texas, if this storm continues to hang on, you're probably going to have some hail here in about 20 to 30 minutes. This is not a very fast moving storm. Again, it hit Santa Ana probably about 2 hours ago at this rate. When was this storm report? 2 inches at 8:20. Well, that was an hour and a half ago. So yeah, the storm developed over 2 hours ago, and it's only crossed the full length of basically 2 counties. So Evant probably in 30 minutes. Imagining this storm can continue for a little bit longer, because it showed signs of strengthening and then weakening, strengthening, weakening. We're certainly not as powerful as we were between Santa Ana and Brownwood, but hail core continues to chug right along. So Evant, this storm is moving southeast, so as it comes into Evant, you're pretty much on target for that. Now 2-inch hailstones are possible with that. Folks in Evant here in about half an hour, here's your early warning. Kind of a compact little hail core, but you can see it kind of making its way, trying to make its way toward Evant slowly but surely. Probably in the next 30 minutes it'll be near town. Evant's no stranger to hailstorms. You're quite welcome. I saw that. Thank you very much. And yes, you are welcome, Jared. Let's go ahead and take a wider view. Here's the I-35 corridor. The storm has only moved this far in 2 hours. That means, it's probably going to go this far in 2 hours, and then that far in 2 hours, if they can even make it that long. So if the storm can make it, we're probably talking about somewhere between Temple and Waco here in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours at the earliest. So Evant, more concern for you guys at the moment for hail. But tornado potential is pretty much non-existent right now. So that's good news. If anything changes, we'll let you know. Yeah, this severe thunderstorm coming right toward Evant. It's going to be probably half an hour before it can make it there. Let's go ahead and go back to velocity, and then I can show you kind of what it's doing as a supercell. And we see kind of a faint outflow signature there, already come through Goldthwaite. This hail core, which is northeast of town, is going to miss Goldthwaite, but it's probably going to make a run at Evant in 30 minutes. So pretty solid hail core still on radar at this hour, almost 10 o'clock, and this storm is still chugging away despite a strong capping inversion. The cap was broken near Santa Ana, allowed for this one supercell to fire up. So we've had some hail issues, but that's been limited to just 2 to 3 counties so far. So good news for Goldthwaite, you're out of the path of this hail core. Unfortunately, Evant, you are looking at possibly 30 minutes from now, this storm tracking right into town with potentially some significant hail. Frequent cloud to ground lightning, heavy rain, maybe a little bit of low-lying areas flooding. Is what we can expect. This storm's going to go south of Hamilton. We'll see rain and thunder in Hamilton, but the main bulk of the hail core here is moving southeast toward Evant. So that's what's going on in the state of Texas right now. Tomorrow we're looking at another severe weather episode, but much more bulk style. Widespread severe thunderstorms, 2 or 3 rounds of storms. We're going to see a morning round of storms in Texoma, 8, 9, 10, 11 a.m. 11 a.m., storms are going to fire up quickly. Big country, hill country move east into the DFW Metroplex. Again, it's looking just like a mess here over the next 24 hours. Things will kick off in Oklahoma overnight and kind of exist in the Red River Valley, Texoma area early tomorrow morning. So by the time we wake up, we may see a couple severe storms on the Texas side of the border. But late morning, near lunchtime, is when we expect that first main round of storms to fire up near Abilene and down to the northern hill country. They're right there around 11, 12, 1. Near the I-20 corridor, and that stuff will come right toward the DFW Metroplex in the Waco. And then late afternoon into dinner time, we'll see Edwards Plateau fire off severe weather as well, and that'll make its way towards central Texas. So San Antonio, you're probably going to be okay. Austin, maybe you'll get grazed by some severe weather tomorrow. Bryan College Station, kind of same thing. You might be grazed by some severe weather in the late afternoon to dinner time. But, this model is not set in stone for what's going to happen. So stay tuned to David Reimer's forecast roundup in the morning. He'll have the freshest outlook for everybody. As of right now, we have one severe thunderstorm with possibly 2-inch diameter hail coming toward Evant. So there's tomorrow, Wednesday, May 22nd, severe weather risk. Level 3 out of 5 in DFW to Denison, Sherman, Gainesville, Texarkana, Cleburne, Granbury, Corsicana, Hillsboro, Sulphur Springs. Level 2 for Abilene, San Angelo, Junction, Killeen, Waco, Temple Belton, Tyler, Longview, Marshall. And a level 1, the lowest of the risks without it being 0, northern San Antonio to Austin, College Station, Eagle Pass Del Rio, Childress, Center Lufkin. Lufkin is technically outside of that risk, so be weather aware. Tomorrow we're going to have 2 or 3 rounds of storms. We have just one round of one storm here in the state of Texas this evening. It is tracking toward Evant, Texas. Folks on the Texas Weather Center YouTube, we're going to go ahead and send you off to the magical radar stream of life with music. Folks on Facebook will just kind of keep this on a radar loop with some music as it comes in an event. I'll break in with an update if need be, but since we've already kind of talked about it, brought it to your attention, and have kind of nowcasted and then forecasted for tomorrow, I'm going to split. Again, Texas Weather Center YouTube, you'll be on the radar stream that runs continuously. Folks on Facebook, I will leave this current stream running. I'll just be off screen, but I'll let the music run. So again, thank you all for joining us with this impromptu live message about this one storm today, and then what looks to be many, many more storms tomorrow for Texas. Y'all have a good evening. Check out David Reimer's Roundup in the morning. God bless. Oh, good timing. Baby cry.